We always start this way. I greet you, I say hello. Today's Thursday, last day of the work week for me. Ain't I lucky? And I'm sitting here in the comfort of an air conditioned, air filtered studio. God, I like it. I mean, my wife likes the house hot. I don't. So I can always retreat to my studio. But let's get going. Brag on my studio enough. I love this place. Technological wizardry abounds. Let's start with a reading from The Darkening by Rob and Laura Petri, chapters 20 and 21. Here we go. We talked about Operation Raise Your Hand, and it's been an absolute success beyond the wishes or dreams of the early Soviet Union. When they collapsed, they thought it was all over, but Beijing moved in and did a great job of not only progressing their plans, but finishing elements of it. Today, the number of communist-friendly school teachers, it's staggering. Over 81% of teachers in public schools at all levels profess a favorable attitude toward the communist utopian ideal. What the hell brought that out? Probably because their parents had been indoctrinated. Any way you slice it, that is largely a product of the Soviet Union. Hey, but the Chinese like you to believe it too, because it's a great way to fracture society. And some people would say, we already are. Well, the only dream to which they can cling to is the utopian dream of Marxism. Well, with so much success, and I mean success, rampant success, in such a short period of time, the influence of the Soviet Union emboldened the network of Negro diploma mills across the country. They started spitting these guys out like popcorn without the window closed. The Negro infiltration of the mass media, of education, industry, and even political circles was in full blossom. Various programs linked seamlessly with others, forming an almost symbiotic relationship, which became the very cornerstone of Moscow's plans. With the initiation of all these programs, the dreams of communist conquest have come closer and closer. And yes, the fracturing of American society has begun. Thanks to the defeat of Senator Joe McCarthy, it was now easy to put communist agents into elected public office or to convert those already in office. Communism wasn't such a dirty word after McCarthy left. That was their smartest move, getting rid of their biggest enemy. From school boards to city councils, mayors, governors, state legislators, even federally elected officials, the communism and the communists continue to poison the well of freedom. In relation to the ultimate goal of communists, Stalin said, I will quote Stalin, "Today we will own the hearts of America. Tomorrow we will own it all." End quote. He wasn't wrong. Stalin is revered by the Chinese. In 1993, with the election of America's 42nd president, the communist goal was nearly achieved. President William Jefferson Clinton, Bill Clinton, Billy Boy, became the first communist-friendly president. Is it any wonder why the majority of Americans, even 70 years later, have begun to accept all manner of divisive and vile practices promoted within the communist dream? America's abandonment of traditional values has been in full swing. Those values which helped to build the greatest nation on earth have been taken to the brink of destruction. If you express those values now, you're a patriot freak or a MAGA. No, you're an American who's concerned. The goal of fragmenting America along several lines, close at hand. It's not just a single split. There's a million cracks, any one of them capable of fracturing us to the point of conquest from within. Now already we watched the greatest fissure of these cracks. That is, Negro versus non-Negro. Because of this moral fragmentation, this racial fragmentation, we are now involved in the most evil and heinous acts, all scripted by Beijing. Our evil acts are following a script, people. Don't believe they're not. One thing the Chinese are famous for, famous and infamous, is their ability to make long-range plans, hang on to the plans, make minimal changes until they achieve what the plans desire. In America, our government, hell, they can't even settle on a budget for 1 year, let alone a 10-year plan. Sad, but very true. So here we go, chapter 21. From the first pilgrims at Plymouth Rock to the brave soldiers who have fought in world wars, innumerable conflicts, this country has been founded on biblical principles. There's no such thing as Judeo-Christian. It's like saying black-white. It's like saying yellow-red. No. We were founded on biblical principles of the Bible. It had nothing to do with the Torah or the Talmud. And those principles continue today, although to a much lesser degree. From extramarital sex, to artificial birth control, to the legitimization of mind-bending drugs, to gay marriage, to bestiality, to abortion, to euthanasia, and far more atrocities than can be mentioned here. The communists have scripted it all, because all of it. I watched a movie the other day, and it shocked me. In the middle of the movie, these two lesbians, all dressed in white, with 100 guests, had a wedding, and the bride kissed the bride. I wanted to puke. We're marching to the beat of Beijing's drummer. We owe our gullibility to what they've taught us. We've been taught to accept, tolerate, support, and even participate in the most evil and twisted shit you can imagine. Over the past 70 years, we've lost a lot of ground as a people. We have been, we are being, and can look forward to still being the proverbial frogs in the pot. When the communists turn up the heat on our morality and courage, can you smell what's cooking? Something's cooking, baby, and it's us. It was December 1991 that saw the death rattle of the Soviet Union. Unable to afford the extremely expensive road to domination, they ran out of money. They couldn't pay they couldn't draft minorities and other communists. They didn't have the money to pay for their college. They ran out of money. You know what's funny? Think about this. USSR was bankrupt. It was taking months to get pay to school teachers and military. Yet they were paying our students on time, tuition on time, and guess what? Yep, ding, ding, ding. They went broke. Moscow was paying our school teachers before they paid their own. And it was this kind of stinking thinking that ensured the destruction of the Soviet Union. But, you know, they say that nature abhors a vacuum. When the Soviets left, you had this sucking sound. And what was it? Enter the People's Republic of China, Ni hao wada peng yo. Unwilling to see Moscow's efforts go to waste, Beijing picked up the torch and they ran with it. In an almost seamless transition, the darkening continued. By March of 1992, China was fully vested in all phases of the former Soviet Union's plans. Now, China's chairman Mao Zedong, was an outstanding strategist. He reframed and reworked the Moscow campaign, despite many small changes. Advancing this divide and conquer thing was working out really, really well. And the Chinese know that if it works, don't mess with it. Today we live in a country on the very verge of domestic unrest, possibly open rebellion. We've been divided along every imaginable crack, crease, and crevice. I mean, the wounds, the open bleeding wounds of financial, religious, sexual, racial, LGBTQXYZ, perversion, and the education division have been pried open. This wound's been pried open and allowed to leak and bleed all over the American landscape. Nothing turned out to be more effective. Nothing than communism in a now darkening America. The main factor in darkening America would be the efficiency of the mass media's propaganda. From TV and radio networks to cable TV to broadcast TV, the newspapers, online media, social media, and beyond, the process continues to achieve overwhelming success. There is no more terrible force than that which divides a family. Whether it's parents against children or children against parents, it pales in comparison to the degree of division that the communists have planned for us. More than an armed invasion, this is an armed uprising, and it is coming from within. What is it? It's an uprising of the ignorant. Now on Monday we're going to talk about chapter 22. Mass media serves a new master, and China picks up where Russia left off. Then we're going to do chapter 23, media overrepresentation of blacks, and a design to pit black against white. That'll be on Monday, folks. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I appreciate the comments, the emails. Keep it up. God bless you all. Have a good weekend.